Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xcentauri here and welcome back to another video. Now I hope all of you are doing well because I am as always. And in this video we're going to be playing Infinite Flight without a pro subscription, and for some reason my iPad just completely decided to crash there. So yeah, I haven't actually played Infinite Flight properly in a good few months because I've been absolutely swamped at university. So I didn't renew my pro subscription because I thought, you know, paying £10 a month was a bit of a waste considering I wasn't using it. And it appears quite a bit's really changed since the last time I did a review of Infinite Flight without pro. So we're going to do that now. We're going to play Infinite Flight without that pro subscription and just see what it's like. And then hopefully give a brief review at the end. Now, as you can tell, looking at all the aircraft here, it's pretty much the same. You know, we've got access to the Spitfire, the P-38, the A-10, which is a good aircraft to have, the X-Cub, I suppose, yeah, the SR-22, the Cessna 172, and the 208 Caravan. Got the CRJ-200, the C-17, which is hideous, the F-18, but only that one Infinite Flight livery, which I suppose is better than nothing, the 737, 717, and a 747, which always were the same aircraft you allowed access to. I remember always having that 737, because that was literally the first plane I flew, that Turkish Airlines livery. The A380 for now. But I'd imagine when that gets reworked, that will not be available to us. And then, of course, the Airbus A321, which is a lovely aircraft to have. And you know what? Why not? Let's use the Qatari A321, although we can't really fly in Qatar. Now, there are a few different regions that you're allowed to fly on, a few more than you used to be allowed. So we got the whole of Hawaii, so that'd be good for like some bush flights and that. Maybe take a... You know, the X-Cub with the Cessna out, that'd be cool. You know, we got a 3D airport, a 3D airport to access. So we'll spawn here. We got the whole region to ourselves, why not? But there were quite a few different views. And yet again, Infinite Flight have changed that loading screen and it looks phenomenal. I'm never disappointed by the quality of loading screens that Infinite Flight you know, display, other than about 1 or 2 a year, which I'm not too keen on. But you can't please everyone, can you? Now, as you can see, Infinite Flight does have 3D airports at some locations. Now, not every airport is 3D, and I will show you guys a prime example of that in a minute. But as you can see, the quality of these airports is pretty good. You know, you still got the classic 3D airports. I presume these are solar panels, which I didn't know was a feature at Hawaii Airport. Fair play to them for using solar panels. A very sunny place, to be fair. No clouds, although clouds are a feature in Infinite Flight. I believe we can access them. Yep, you can see them changing, so now we've got some clouds above us. So they are a feature with non-pro users, and pretty much pro users, as pro users, non-pro users do get to witness all of the usual stuff. You know, you can connect all of this. But the door's not going to open on this aircraft. It's a really cool aircraft, the A320. I love it. I'd love an A320neo in Infinite Flight. But as you can see, you know, you can still start up the plane as usual. You know, do the seat belts, engines, start them up. You know, do the usual. So all of that does work. So of course, this is probably the best aircraft you get access as a non-pro user on Infinite Flight. You're going to get access to all of this. But you know, let's give it a go. I haven't really flown Infinite Flight in a while. Let's just see what it really is like in the region we can fly. So we'll just go on short final and literally just take off. Bring those gear up, bring them flaps up to 1 so we can maintain a little bit of speed over the area. We are going to be over speeding in a very short amount of time, so I don't want anyone to panic when that does happen. But yeah, you can see the scenery, okay, on Infinite Flight is good. And I think it's pretty cool to be playing without the pro subscription for a change. Although I'm not too sure what happens when we reach the boundary, so I'm going to fly left towards that boundary. I want to see what actually happens. And there is a way to actually, funny enough, speed up how quickly you get there in solo mode, which is obviously what you're using, because there is no access to ATC or anything. That scenery shot there is wow. So we're going to try and figure out, so we can do time. So I've got to set my autopilot on that. Oh, we don't want altitude for 0. Let's try and reset that again. There we go, and we'll just time speed up by 5, and hopefully we can get there a lot quicker. Just knock up our speed totally. We're over speeding, and we will be at that zone in just a short amount of time. I didn't know this aircraft can get that fast. Bring our flaps up as well, and we will be there in just a second. But you know, while the plane's doing that, let's just admire the scenery. Wow, scenery has never really been a disappointment. If like, hey, you've got the other Hawaiian airports over there in the background, but we should be coming up to this border in just a second. But you know, by the time it's taken us to travel this far, you can actually see there is quite a good range. You know, there's a 200 nautical mile flight, so I'd imagine this square in length is probably 250 by 250 nautical miles in general, which makes it a very big region. And we're about to cross this line. See what happens when you cross the infamous green line, because it's never really happened to me before. So it's either going to boot us or something special is going to happen. Okay, so it says at the very top, Pro is required to fly outside the default regions. Tap here for more information. So has it stopped flying us? Or is it going to stall? Okay, so for some reason the aircraft has entered nearly into a stall. So I wonder if that's is that what happens when you leave the region? It just cuts power to the engines. No, the engines seem to be running absolutely fine. Can't think of a reason why we're losing speed. So the aircraft's now going to tilt up, but we'll just control that manually. But it seems to appear that when we've left the zone you're allowed in, there's an even bigger zone around it, but it appears that your aeroplane loses all throttle. Right, okay, that's a bit of a pity then. So, well, I suppose now we know. And then obviously for £9.49 a month, you get access to all this stuff. Now, you can get it for cheaper if you buy it on a yearly one, but if it's like, funny enough, they don't advertise that. But if you buy it directly through the App Store, you can get access to that. So you can get it a lot cheaper. So now we know what happens when you leave the green zone. But of course, there are some really good aircraft available to us for playing infant flight without that pro subscription. And the A380 is a phenomenal aircraft to have access to that. So we say that's about 250 by 250 nautical miles. You've got a much bigger range up here, covering most of the west coast. So you've got San Francisco, but up really most north. Where's this? This is, I have no idea where any of these places are. Travis, what a cool name. But anyway, you got like San Francisco, and then all down here is, I always forget the name of the San Diego, that's it. So you can really do some really big flights here without that pro subscription app for your own infant flight. You could get a 737 here. I'm sure Southwest fly that route. I don't know if WestJet do. I don't think so, but United probably do fly a route, especially from LA. So that you can do some realistic flights. I don't think the 717 really applies, but you can use the Hawaiian 717 in those regions. You got the 747 if you really fancied, United Airlines 747 flight, and of course you can then just take out an F-18. So realistically, infant flight non-pro isn't that bad of a deal. I get it, you want to use online stuff, but again, you got that little gap down there in Rio area. You got the Spain. You can do Porto to Madrid, and then you got up here, you got Acuna, and lots of great places there in Spain. And then of course you've got the amazing Swiss Alps, and I think this would be the place to take that F-18 if you are someone who loves to fly low, fast, do all sorts of crazy stuff. The South African bit just sort of exists, but I think, and then also obviously the Australian region, I think that's it's Coffs Harbour up there. Which is it's an alright airport. I've not really flown to it very much, but I have on other sims. You got Canberra there. No, that's not even Canberra. Canberra's here somewhere, or it used to be around there. But of course you got the Sydney area, and then of course you can do the Singapore and Malaysia flight to Kuala Lumpur. So there are lots of things. Now, air traffic control doesn't exist unless you have Infoflight Pro. But to be honest, Infoflight have definitely stepped up their game for what you get as a non-pro user. Hopefully they don't make it any worse, because you used to have to pay for the flight simulator. I don't know if you do anymore. I'm sure someone will know in the comments. But yeah, it's a great sim to have if you only want to fly, these small routes and you don't want pro yet. Because, £10 is a lot of money a month. But yeah, if you guys did find this a good video, though, and you are new here, and you somehow made it this far into the video, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I'm aiming to get a video a week, video every other week up on the channel. So if you did enjoy, make sure you like, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Good night.